Berlin Wall on 26th of June 1963 when he claimed he was ein Berliner?
Well, it refers to a type of cake.
Yeah, a donut, that's right. Which imperial general of the 30 Years' War sent his troops into Berlin and took over the Electoral Palace during his campaigns against the King of Denmark?
Wallenstein?
Correct. In which institute in Dahlem did Otto Hahn and Fritz Strassmann discover the first experimental proof of what became known as nuclear fission?
Well, the Kaiser Wilhelm Society.
That's correct. Well done. You seemed uncertain, but that took you to 5 points in just the one pass. It was the Italian you had to know who controversially was commissioned to compose an opera on Roland of Berlin. That was Ruggero Leoncavallo. Thank you very much. All right, so we go on to our next contestant, please. Please give us your name.
Anne Miller.
Your occupation?
Retired librarian.
And your specialist subject?
French cuisine.
Right, Anne Miller, your questions on French cuisine, they start now. The classic dish bouillabaisse is particularly associated with which French city?
Marseille.
Correct. Which chicken dish was named after the battle in 1800 in which Napoleon defeated the Austrians?
Marengo.
Correct. What term designates a mixture of chopped mushrooms sautéed in butter with onions and which is used as a garnish or stuffing?
Fricassee.
No, duxelles. Which ingredient in the Provençal sauce rouille gives its characteristic brownish red colour?
Mushrooms.
No, red chilies or paprika. Small poached dumplings called quenelle de brochet are made from which type of fish?
Lobster.
No, pike. What name is given to the large tripe-based sausages of Normandy and Brittany, which are smoked and eaten cold?
Andriette.
No, andouille. The meat of which animal forms the base of pâté d'Amiens?
Pork.
No, duck. What is added to hollandaise sauce to make it sauce mousseline?
Egg yolk.
No, whipped cream. What haute cuisine term denotes a dish garnished with a rich mixture of chicken quenelles, coxcombs and mushrooms in a Madeira and truffle sauce?
Béarnaise.
No, it's à la financière. So at the end of that round, you've scored 2 points with no passes. Well done. Thank you so much. And let's go on to our fourth and final contestant in this first specialist subject round. Your name?
Ivor Watts.
Occupation?
Retired British Council officer.
And your specialist subject?
The life and works of Ralph Vaughan Williams.
All right, Ivor Watts, your questions on the music of Ralph Vaughan Williams start now. What was the first folk song collected by Vaughan Williams in 1903 from the labourer Charles Potiphar?
Bushes and Briars.
Correct. Which of Vaughan Williams' symphonies has recently been recorded for the first time in its original version?
The Antarctica.
No, the London Symphony. What is the name of the film directed by Michael Powell for which Vaughan Williams wrote his first set of music for the cinema?
The Loves of Joanna Gordon.
No, 49th Parallel. How many choruses from Sir John in Love were used for the cantata In Windsor Forest?
4.
No, 5. What was the subtitle of the romantic ballad opera Hugh the Drover?
The arrest of Hugh as a suspected French spy.
No, Love in the Stocks. With which unrelated chord does E minor repeatedly alternate as the mysterious end of the Sixth Symphony?
E major.
That's E flat major. Where in London in 1937 did Riders to the Sea receive its first performance?
Covent Garden.
The Royal College of Music. What is the title of the 6th of the Songs of Travel in the correct order of performance? Well, the buzzer's gone, but you can still answer. You've got time to...
Yes.
6 of the Songs of Travel. Just have to hurry you a bit.
I'm sorry, I have forgotten.
Oh, I'll have to put that down as a pass then. That's so at the end of your round, you've scored 1 point with that one pass. The answer, which will perhaps come back to you when I tell you, is the infinite shining heavens. Thank you very much, Ivor Watts. Right. Well, that first round has taken us on polar expeditions. We've been to Berlin, and we've been eating French food, all to the sound of Vaughan Williams music. But quite a tough opening round, so let's take a look at the scores. Now, in fourth place at the moment, we have Ivor Watts, who's got 1 point and has passed once. In third place is Anne Miller. She's scored 2 points, no passes. In second place, there's Alexander Campbell. He's got 3 points and 1 pass. But in the lead at this stage is Brian Doherty, who has 5 points and 1 pass. Well, the contestants will get ready for the round number 2, the general knowledge questions. We'll see you after this break in round 2. Remember, for all you Sky viewers at home, it's your chance to pit your wits and test your general knowledge against our studio contestants by pressing the red button on your remote control. See you after the break. Bye. Yes, I'm back again. Such are the wonders of modern television. Now, if you're a Sky digital viewer, during the first part of the show, you had the chance to vote for the contestant you thought was the brainiest. Now the voting is over. We'll be collating your votes and bringing you the results after the break.
It was a paradise. Unless they were above decks, they don't even know what hit them, or who hit them, or why.
And from that moment on, the world's history changed. No question about it.
Pearl Harbor Remembered, tonight from 9:30 on Discovery.
Hello. When you want a personal loan, you can just go to your bank. But why not see if it's easier, faster and cheaper to call Lombard Direct on 0800 2 15,000.
Your rate is based on your circumstances and loan amount. Our typical rate is just 8.9% APR.
For an unsecured personal loan of up to £25,000, call Lombard Direct now on 0800 2 15,000.
To find out if you could be better off with budget car insurance, call us now on 0800 247 247. Budget! 0800 247 247.
Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord,
Millions have experienced the power.
I will celebrate, sing unto the Lord, sing to the Lord.
Millions have experienced the glory.
Celebrate, Jesus, celebrate. Yeah.
Presenting Songs for Worship, the best praise in worship songs of all time.
Shout to the Lord on the earth, let us sing. Power and majesty.
You'll hear your favorite Christian artists and worship leaders.
Our God is an awesome God.
Rich Mullins, Twyla Paris, Don Moen, Delirious. Get Songs for Worship on 2 CDs for the special price of just $9.99. Bring the praise and worship experience into your home.
He has made me glad. Oh, he has made me glad. I will rejoice for
These are songs that will last a lifetime. Then audition other praise and worship albums. Satisfaction guaranteed. So call now for Songs for Worship.
God will make a way where there seems to be no way.
To start your Songs for Worship collection for the special price of only $9.99, call the number on your screen now.
He will be my God.
Have you been injured, had an accident at work, or on the road, or in a public place? Unsure if you have a claim for compensation? Concerned about hidden charges? Now, there is no need to worry. The Personal Injury Helpline will handle your claim with no charges and nothing taken from the money you're awarded. So, for a risk-free quality service, call us free now on 0800 085 1715. If you don't make the call, you'll never know.
We're looking for a totally close shave. Not his. Didn't get the tough spots. But he did. He got total closeness with the new Remington TCT. Specially designed to first trim the hard-to-get hairs, then to follow with 3 flexing foils to cut even closer. The new Remington TCT. Total closeness or your money back.
Well, we've had a huge team collating your votes. Well, one bloke in the computer. And it's the moment you've all been waiting for. The person you voted, brainiest contestant, is... And don't forget, Sky Digital viewers can play along with the rest of the show and have the opportunity of winning a fabulous prize by simply pressing the red button on their remotes. Hello and welcome back to Discovery Mastermind, and on to round 2 and general knowledge. Now, if there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into consideration, and the contender with the fewer or fewest passes will be declared the winner. And if there's still a tie on points, then there'll be a 5-question playoff. And remember, Sky viewers at home can press their red buttons and play along interactively. So on with the general knowledge round. We take the contenders in this round in the ascending order of their scores in round 1. So may I have Ivor Watts again, please. The music of Ray Vaughan Williams in the first round. I see you've got a range of interests and expertise. You speak fluent Japanese?
Fairly fluent.
Fairly fluent. Well, that's ahead of 99.9% of the population in this country. Is that because you worked in Japan?
Yes, I was there during the occupation.
Oh, right. But you're now studying for a PhD in mathematics.
Yes.
Covers a range of interests, again, pretty wide compared to most people.
Well, one hopes so.
All right, well, there's plenty of other of your interests I could go on to, but perhaps they'll all come into play in this general knowledge round. And your general knowledge questions start now. What in the insect world is a purple emperor?
A butterfly.
Correct. Which Russian dramatist wrote the plays The Seagull and The Cherry Orchard?
Chekhov.
Correct. What name is given in the church to the head of a cathedral chapter and in academic circles to the head of a university faculty or department?
A dean.
Correct. Which elementary particle has a mass of 1836.12 times that of the electron and a charge equal in magnitude but opposite in sign to that of the electron?
Proton.
Correct. The Lok Sabha is the lower house of which Commonwealth country's parliament?
India.
Correct. Who was British Foreign Secretary at the beginning of the Falklands crisis in 1982?
Carrington.
Correct. Which is the only country to border the Red Sea and the Persian Gulf?
Saudi Arabia.
Correct. What name is used for gloves with close-fitting hands and long, wide arms reaching almost to the elbow, which was thrown down as a challenge to combat?
Gauntlet.
Correct. Born in Ghent in 1500, at the age of 15 he became ruler of the Netherlands and was later King of Spain and Archduke of Austria. Under what title was he the Holy Roman Emperor from 1519 to 58?
Charles V.
Correct. In geology, what term is used for a crystal? I've started, so I finish. In geology, what term is used for a crystal made up of 2 parts which are orientated differently but in a regular fashion related to the crystallography of each portion?
A bipartite crystal.
It's a twinned crystal, which I think is not quite right. So at the end of that round, you've scored 10 points and have no passes. Well done, Ivor Watts. All right, so now we go on to Anne Miller. French cuisine in the first round. Now, you're also studying at the moment to extend your range of knowledge.
Yes, I've just started a MA at Sussex University.
All right. So this is...
just recently completed my BA with the Open University.
So is this a view to becoming a greater and greater expert at quizzes, or for a rather deeper interest?
Just to keep my brain active.
Well, it's evidently working. And this summer you were in China, so you might be able to do with Chinese questions as well.
Well, I hope so. I just wanted to see the Yangtze Gorges before they're flooded.
Yes. And you got there in time?
I did.
Excellent. Right. Well, I hope you've got time to answer plenty of questions in your general knowledge round, which starts now. In the production of iron and steel, what name is given to the layer of impurities that floats on the molten metal during refining?
Dross.
I accept that. Dross or slag. Which French revolutionary was murdered in his bath in 1793 by Charlotte Corday, a member of the rival Conservative faction?
Marat.
Correct. What is the common name for the mammals which comprise the family Talpidae?
Anteaters?
No, moles. Written by Tony and Maureen Wheeler at their kitchen table in 1973, Across Asia on the Cheap was the first of which series of guidebooks?
Rough Guides?
Lonely Planet. In astronomy, Sirius B was the first to be discovered and is the best known example of which class of star?
The double star.
No. White dwarf.
White dwarf.
The Muses Threnody by Henry Adamson, written in 1638, contains what is thought to be the first reference to which game, although a stone with the date 1511 etched on it can be seen in Stirling.
Curling?
Correct. Who died on January the 24th, 1965, exactly 70 years to the day after his father, Lord Randolph?
Churchill.
Yes, Winston Churchill, correct.
Yes.
So at the end of that round, you've scored 6 points and have no passes. Well done, Camilla. And we now go on to Alexander Campbell, who dealt with polar exploration in the first round. And this started as a university subject for you, did it?
Well, it's been a lifelong interest,
yes.
but I wrote my dissertation on it.
Yeah. So did you do the dissertation and then think about going there, or had you been to the ends of the earth before you did your dissertation?
I've never travelled to either of the poles, but it's still an ambition, certainly.
So you're getting the theory done before you venture into the practicalities of
well, I like to think of it as learning which mistakes not to make.
Yes. OK, well, we've got to put polar exploration behind to go on to general knowledge for you. Your time on that starts now. What name is given to the line of latitude lying approximately 23 degrees, 27 minutes south of the equator?
The Tropic of Capricorn.
Correct. Which American author wrote the novel The Prince and the Pauper, first published in 1881?
Mark Twain.
Correct. Which chemical element used in nuclear reactors and bombs has the symbol Pu?
Plutonium.
Correct. According to the sonnet by Shelley, the words, "Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair," are carved on the ruined statue of which ancient tyrant?
Ozymandias.
Correct. Who has taken most wickets for England in Test cricket?
C.B. Fry.
Ian Botham. What did assassinated American President Abraham Lincoln say is stronger than the bullet?
The pen.
The ballot. Lying 2 miles from the mouth of the Douro, which is Portugal's second largest city?
Oporto.
Correct. The name of which substance used in incendiary bombs is derived from its 2 components, naphthenate and palmitate?
Napalm.
Correct. English painter Nicholas Hilliard, who lived from 1547 to 1619, was a noted exponent of which sort of portraiture?
Landscape.
No, it was in fact miniatures. So you didn't get that one right. Did you say Stephen Fry? Was that your offering for the...
C.B. Fry.
Oh, C.B. Fry, sorry. That was an unlikely guess of Stephen Fry, but C.B. Fry is a bit closer, but no, it's Ian Both as it turned out. Anyway, at the end of that round, you have scored 9 points and no passes. So well done, Alexander Campbell. All right, so now we go on to our final competitor for this round, Brian Doherty. Dealt with Berlin in the first round. Now, have you been to Berlin as part of your researches?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been there recently at all, so it's no use asking me about how things have changed and so on, but I've been there about half a dozen times.
Now, I've asked all the questions I'm going to ask you about Berlin, but so was your interest in Berlin sparked by going there and liking it or interesting, or as a...
well, no, it's one of those subjective things. It's very, very hard to explain to someone else, but I mean, when I was in school, I did a project on Berlin for the German consulate, and I think that was really the start of it, you know.
Right.
So, went from there, really.
Okay. And you've taken part in a running race in Berlin as well, so that's taking your study to even greater lengths.
Yeah, I mean, it's my ambition to actually take part in the Berlin Marathon. That takes part in September, but I haven't actually managed to do that yet. But
all right.
You know.
Oh, well, perhaps who knows? You might win Mastermind and also win the Berlin Marathon. That would be an unusual double, I'd have thought, for most people. Anybody, really. Anyway, we get on to general knowledge now. So your general knowledge time starts now. Which major clearing bank was taken over by the Royal Bank of Scotland in February 2000?
NatWest.
Correct. Who wrote the novels Rebecca and My Cousin Rachel?
I'll pass.
La Gioconda is the alternative name for which famous painting?
Mona Lisa.
Correct. What was the name of the computer in the film 2001: A Space Odyssey?
HAL.
Correct. The monument by Nicholas Stone to which metaphysical poet and Anglican divine is one of the only two in St Paul's Cathedral to have survived the Great Fire of London?
John Donne.
Correct. Ergophobia is an abnormal dislike of what?
Pass.
Nixtamalization is a process discovered by the Aztec and Maya civilization to transform which grain into a superior foodstuff?
Maize.
Correct. Who was Pope from 1963 to 78, being succeeded by John Paul I?
Paul.
Paul the... lots of Pauls, I'm afraid.
6th.
Well, that guess was correct.
Was
so
it?
Paul the 6th, so you got another point. That takes you to score to 11 points with 2 passes. I say guess, in fact you just worked it out. It wasn't a guess at all. Anyway, the author of Rebecca and My Cousin Rachel was Daphne du Maurier. And ergophobia is, well, it's supposed to be an abnormal dislike, but it's a dislike of work. Seems perfectly normal to me. Anyway, thank you very much, Brian Doherty. All right, so that's the end of that round, the end of this contest. So let's see what the scores are like now. And very tight they are indeed. And we see, though, in 4th place is Anne Miller, who scored 6 points. In 3rd place is Alexander Campbell, who scored 9 points. In 2nd place, just beating him by 1, is Ivor Watts with 10 points. And this week's winner is Brian Doherty with 11 points. As I explained, the first 2 contestants go through, so that means that Brian Doherty and Ivor Watts will be back in a later round. So well done to them. Congratulations to both. Please join us soon for more Discovery Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Coming up next on Discovery Channel, stay tuned for angling tips and hints from the experts as we head for Ontario's Lake Erie for Hooked on Fishing.